Hello everyone, this is Teddy Keckstead from Forex Trading Unlocked, and we are here on Friday the 13th, 2020. Yes, it's Friday the 13th, and I guess it's been basically a Friday the 13th all week long in the markets, hasn't it? So real quick, we want to pull up our disclaimer to remind you that this webinar is for illustrative purposes only, just for education, that's it. So we will be doing live analysis and going over live trades. Once again, we always want to remind you that you are not to look at this as anything else but for educational purposes, and you don't want to try and tag our trades, because once you're in, we work them and whatever, you're not always knowing what's going on. So unless you're part of our signal service and having your trades managed, please do not try and mimic them, because we alter the targets and the stops and get in and out of trades when you don't know until after we've reviewed them with you in these videos. So please be mindful of that. And now, real quick, we've got a bunch of buy and sell signals that we're going to talk about today. They're high probable Japanese candlestick patterns, and ironically, there's a book actually entitled High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns. It's available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle version, and through it you can utilize the best buy and sell patterns used for over 400 years to give yourself a competitive edge against the markets. And with that, let's get to our live action screen and go review our trades that we have on. So we're at the Forex-Trading-Unlocked.com website. We already have the workstation page pulled up, and we have the US dollar Japanese yen trade market pulled up with this chart. There's a lot going on here. So what do we have? We have a buy signal that was triggered the other day. And from that buy signal, we put on a binary options trade of US dollar JPY greater than 104.25. As you can see, the trading time was 3:11 at 9:14 Chicago time. So that was 2 days ago. The signal was triggered on Tuesday, I believe it was. So the expiration is in 4 hours. As long as the market settles above 104.25, because we are long, then we will see a profit. Right now, we had paid 56.50 for it. You can see we are long one. The current market is at 92.25. It will settle at 100 if the market settles above it. So let's see. Well, we have a pretty good chance, since this is our binary option strike price. You can see this blue line here. This is the option that we had bought a few days ago, and as you can see, this market was triggered on Monday. Was the buy signal, and then we had gotten in on Tuesday. So, as you can see, the market has been very volatile for the Japanese yen, but our buy signal is held. And we have this pivot here at 103.091 right now. For anyone that is in the market right now, if you're looking to be a bull, you definitely do not want to be long below this today or period, because that would mean newer move lows and be very bearish. Right now we have a nice bounce. This market had been in a long-term bull market. As you can see, the volatility that we've had in the last week and a half have changed everything. So for our trade that we have on, because of this bullish engulfing line sell signal, it will expire today, and unless this market completely reverses gears and makes new lows on the day, this trade here will be a winning trade that we have on here for this buy signal. Now, is the buy signal completed? Actually, yes, it is. This was our upside target zone. We have come into the lower part of it at 106.73. 108.05 is our extreme for this. Right now, we're viewing this as only a correction. So after today, we will raise our stops up to break even, because we have a trade here. Actually, we already have it above already. We have a long Japanese yen Forex contract on right now, and we will definitely be raising our stops depending on where the market settles, unless it settles just above where it's at right now. So we have the option, the binary option, FX binary option, that is going to expire today, and we have the Forex cash contract that now we are into our target zone. So we're going to be mindful of what happens here and try and figure out where we raise our stop to as when we get closer to the close today. But we've already hit our target zone, and we also have a US dollar Swiss 93 quarter option on too. So we're going to take a look at that trade. So let's take a look at this one. Since we already have the Japanese yen trade and we already have our points picked out, we know we're in our target zone. Well, we also had a buy signal, same thing, a bullish engulfing line buy signal the other day. This was a few days ago also, and we had put on this binary option of US dollar Swiss greater than 93.25. Now, that means that if the market settles once again above this price, which most likely it looks like it will today, then this binary option will be a profit, which we, as you can see, we had bought this one on the 10th, not on the 11th, so one day earlier. This has 4 hours left till expiration. This option we paid a little bit less for. We paid $54.50, and right now it is the current market 92.25. It will expire at 100, so we will make a little bit more than $37, almost $40 on the trade. So it's a good looking Friday morning shaping up right now. We also have this Euro US dollar trade, so we'll look at that in a second, because we also have on the futures, on the cash side, we are long the Swiss contract as well, as you can see here. So on the Meta MT4 platform, so we will be monitoring that and raising our stops, since we'd already raised our stop a little bit yesterday since it hit our target zone. We have a plus. This trade is a plus. We're going to make sure that a winner does not turn into a loser. But right now with the momentum, we may see if we can press this up towards this 95, 96 area, because we seem to have a very strong dollar right now. We have a little dollar bull going on. So right now, the way it looks, our binary option trade looks like it's going to expire in the money, which means we're going to make this signal will have been not only validated, but very profitable in that respect. So our binary options trades are looking good so far for a Friday, as the market is whipping around, as you can see. So it's been quite the volatile day already for the currencies. The Dow Jones actually is up. It was up around 800. Now it's just under 800 points. So we have a positive day in the Dow. Of course, with the way that thing's been swinging around, it could be down 2,000 points tomorrow or this afternoon. So remember, they had the biggest down days since 1987. So the fact that it's 800 points higher right now really doesn't really mean very much, especially in the grand scheme of things. So, but that bounce is keeping things positive in the equity markets as they wind down. The rest of the world is shut down for the most part. Europe is closing. And now we have the US dollar, which is, well, it's still swinging around. So the last 2 Fridays have not disappointed as far as volatility is concerned. And why would it stop now, right? So our US dollar Swiss buy signal has entered our upside target zone. Remember that our extreme is 95.96. We are now in a positive trade. We got our stops raised. Well, one thing is we are in front of the weekend, so we have no exposure with our options. They expire today. That's why we are raising our stops a lot going into the Friday, or the Friday weekend trade for the weekend, because we don't want to have too much risk exposure, especially with the way the markets opened on this last Sunday. Like as you can see, we had this gap down here that we filled with the buy signal. Boy, it's just crazy how much volatility we've had in the past couple sessions, let alone the past week and a half. So remember, this market has been in a bearish trend. We had set that lower move low. Right now, we are most likely potentially going to just be a corrective move here, which means we are looking to set a lower move high. So now we're looking for a sell signal. So this buy signal is running out of gas. Now, we're not going to say that this dollar is not going to be a raging bull and all of a sudden take over the trend and it'll be a whole new story, but right now we have every reason to believe that this is only a corrective move. So we've gone through 3 of our buy and sell signals that we've had this week so far, or excuse me, 2 so far. Now let's go to the Euro US dollar. So we had a bearish engulfing line sell signal that occurred also on the 10th or on the 9th. And on the 10th, we put on this trade here with the Euro US dollar greater than 14.25, where we sold the option. We sold it at 35. So right now, it looks like we have another $7 left in the trade. So considering where the market is at right now, as you can see, this 14.25 is our strike price. Unless the market was to reverse all the way back up to here, I think that trade is going to be fine as a winner. We are also short the Euro US dollar as well on the MT4 platform in the cash, as you can see, and we will be adjusting our stops. Right now we have it at the high of the day. Reason being is we almost touched the lower parameter of our 110.50 pivot point here at the downside target zone. Yesterday, you can see we just came just shy of hitting that, of tagging that to the pip. So, and then we bounced all the way back. We had a nice retracement yesterday. Talk about a range yesterday in the euro US dollar. I mean, we've seen more action in just a couple of days over the past week than we've seen in any multi-month period in this contract for a while. So anyone that trades this contract and has been for a long time like I have is just loving this volatility. This is fantastic. So right now we're hanging in the downside target zone. We have our stop. It's nice and tight right now. And we know we're going to profit on the option trade today, so it's just a matter of locking in our returns, lowering our stops, and seeing how the market closes. Like, there's still a good chance that, I mean, it's only 1 hour into the U.S. session. Anything can happen yet with the U.S. stock market, and as far as with the U.S. dollar going into this weekend, we have still a few hours left where with this volatility, anything could happen. This market could be, we're trading right now in the euro US dollar at 111.05. We could be trading at 112, 113.05 later on, or we could be back down at 109.05. So with this volatility, who knows what's going on. The interesting thing is we're hanging out in our target zone, and unless we have a rally that gets above 114.20, oh, why did I have that wrong? That's the wrong number. 114.25 is the option price. There we go. So 114.25, this blue line here. So as long as we don't get a rally all the way up above there with a settlement above there, our option will be okay. So right now we're looking at our binary options right now. All three of the trades that we put on this week on Monday and Tuesday are looking to be profitable. So we're looking very good at that. And then we have the euro US dollar Swiss trade and the US dollar Swiss trade that we'd already come into the week with. We are doing well with that. And we also have the US dollar Japanese yen trade that we put on this week as well that is currently right now doing well. All of these have stops in where we are protected, and we will have winning trades no matter what. The question is do we get out before the weekend, or do we just raise the stops and see if we can capture some more of the trends? So we've gone over these buy and sell signals that have been executed. As you can see, they've already hit their targets or initial beginning parts of their target zones. Now let's look at the British pound US dollar. So we've seen that there is dollar weakness going on, except for obviously in the US dollar yen. So for the pound, as you can see, this is making lower move lows once again today. Now this market has been slowly grinding lower for the past few months. It had been in a long-term uptrend trend that sort of plateaued, and now as you can see, we've made a series of definitely lower move high for the major trend and lower move low, and we are banging new lows today. So considering we have weakness in the Swiss and in the euro, and we have the new travel ban that has gone into effect with the EU, I think this is weighing on these European currencies. Now the pound, obviously, they're not part of the travel ban yet. I'm sure there are some restrictions though, because I'm sure they can't just like skip from the EU to the UK to the US. I'm sure there's gonna be some restrictions on that. So as far as the coronavirus, obviously that is a fundamental driving this trade, and with the explosion in Europe, so we will see how things pan out. But obviously, we got to remember, when you make lower move lows and lower move highs, the trend is lower. The trend is your friend. And right now, the pound US dollar is looking weak. The volatility has been so crazy. I mean, we went from having really tight ranges to, I mean, look at just this week alone, the pound has exploded. There's been more action in the pound. We've had almost a $10 move between the high that was set at right around 132.04, and today we're trading at 124.95. So that's right there a $7 move in the British pound just in 1 week. So anyone that was short and caught this bearish engulfing line sell signal the other day, boy oh boy did you capitalize on this trade, that's for sure. So but these were wide ranges, especially yesterday. Anyone who hadn't been in the trade and already short, I'm sure that longs and shorts got chewed up like crazy, and that's probably why we're a little bit quiet today for this Friday. But who knows? We still may bury this market before the day is through. So right now, bears are in control. Bulls, don't try and catch a falling knife. Wait for a buy signal, and I would say wait until next week. Just stay out. There is no reason, unless you're short and have a good lead on this contract, because this market could open up $2-3 away from where it closes today. That's for sure. And which way that will be, who knows right now with this kind of volatility. It's very crazy. So now let's look at some other markets to stay away from. Australian dollar, US dollar, we have a potential buy signal shaping up today. We want to wait and it will be actually the pause, not the buy signal, but the neutral signal today. But Monday, if we have a positive close today and then we have another following positive day on Monday, then we will have a buy signal. But right now we are looking for it. It's potential. It's shaping up. But with this volatility, this thing is a bear. Counter trend trade right now is very, very rough with this kind of volatility. You've got to remember what your reward to risk ratio. Now, especially because the New Zealand dollar, US dollar is also acting just like this as well. So as you can see, the dollar strength is definitely prevalent in the Asian zone. This one didn't make a newer move low. Now this is where we have some divergence. This is interesting. The Australian dollar made a lower move low. This one made a higher move low. So especially if this one settles higher on Monday as well, we have a good chance at this not necessarily being a bull, but riding a corrective move higher for both these currencies. So we're waiting to see what happens with that. So now let's look at the US dollar Mexican peso. This market has talked about volatility. We have a potential sell signal shaping up today. We're going to need confirmation tomorrow, or excuse me, on Monday. So we will be monitoring this trade. Right now the parameters are super wide. You can see that just in the past week and a half, you've gone from 19 pesos to almost 23 pesos to a dollar. Very extreme moves, but we do now have a potential sell trade setting up in the Mexican peso. US dollar, Canadian dollar, this market. What do you do with this thing? It just is hovering below the highs that it made again yesterday. It tried to sell off today, and look at the bears just got smoked. So be very careful and mindful of this. I know there's a gap down here. All gaps get filled eventually, but it could be years before that happens. It could also be days. Who knows? But right now, if you're not long and already in this trade, I would say in front of the weekend, stay out, wait, and see what happens. Maybe if we settle negative today and then we have another negative day on Monday, we might be able to ride a potential correction to the downside. But we're waiting to see how that manifests, if it does manifest. Then we have the US dollar Turkish lira, which is just like the US dollar Canada. It tried to sell off today, and right now it's hovering below the highs. So we can see where we have US dollar strength is just, well, it's just here today, no matter what. So going into the weekend, there's been a little pullback, a little profit taking on the dollar early this morning, but now the markets are open. I'm watching CNBC right now, not to give them a plug because I don't usually like to, but the Dow is only up 600 points now. It has been slipping. It was just around 800 when we started this webinar. It's coming back. European markets are getting to close. Let's see, Fed Treasury needs to do much more. See, this is crazy. The Fed has already done so much already, and so has the Treasury. It makes you really wonder how panicky stricken these professional economists are, because the market you got to give the market some time. And I think the market's actually selling off now because of these actions. People are just they're really panicking because they think that this is not just preemptive, that the government knows something that we don't know, but actually no one entity or thing controls the markets. And believe me, there's no way that the government has foresight as far as where the markets are really going. That's for sure. But anyhow, we have a raging bull that has been stopped in the equity markets, and it's definitely making our dollar moves swing. So we've covered all of our trades that we're on, and we have some potential trades setting up for the new week. We will be covering those when we have our daily market analysis and trading live trading examples for you for Monday. But right now we have, remember, these 3 trades, these binary options trades, where we are greater than 104.25 in the US dollar yen, greater than 93.25 in the US dollar Swiss, and we sold the euro US dollar greater than 114.25. All 3 of these options right now are looking pretty good. We have the euro, we have the same positions going on in the outright forex markets. As you can see, the euro is back on its lows. The Swiss is hovering kind of near its highs, and so is the yen. So we're going to ride these out and see how things go for the rest of the day. It's been a good trading week. It's been volatile. We've been nimble, and we are looking to end this week on a positive note. So it's always a good thing when that happens, right? So remember, we have those signals that we're looking to take advantage of soon. We have other signals that have all manifested themselves and hit their points. That's why we say don't chase these things. These things are already in the market, so don't try and get in the middle of a freight train when it's already in motion. And once again, high probable Japanese candlestick patterns available on Amazon.com in Kindle and paperback version. And you can utilize this book to take advantage of the best buy and sell patterns used for over 400 years. Give yourself a competitive edge against the markets and take advantage of trades like this. If you would have read the book or you read the book, then if you could go back in time, you could take advantage of these signals that happened this week. But there's always signals coming up and going, and there's always opportunities, and we'll see what manifests, especially with this volatility. We're getting some nice moves to catch. So thank you very much for your time. You have a great weekend. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forex Trading Unlocked, and check us out all the time at www.forex-trading-unlocked.com. Have a great weekend.